about 2 years ago, give or take, I was just sitting talking with a friend of mine, and I had stopped working and had done consulting for a couple of years and stopped doing that. And he asked me, well, what are you going to do next? Because, I mean, I can still get around pretty well. I'm relatively healthy. He said, what are you going to do next? And I said, I think that I'm going to go mobile, because I have no children. I've been divorced for a long time. I got nothing holding me in one place or another. So I'm going to go mobile, because I've been traveling all my life, and mobile sounds like a good idea. And he asked me, so when are you going to start? And I said, well, you know, I got a lot. There's a lot of things I'd have to do. I'd have to sell my car. I'd have to, you know, and Peter was the impetus for me to get started. He said, I'll buy your car. And he wanted my car anyway, so
right.
So he bought my car, and I told him, and I did some research on what kind of vehicle I wanted, and I chose this vehicle. And I drove to his place. He bought my car. He drove me to the dealer. I bought this, and I went home and started the project. This was an empty commercial van when I bought it. I bought it because it'll tow 9,500 pounds, and with a 950-pound tongue weight, and I tow a 30-foot trailer with it, so I plan to.
Okay.
Anyway. And it's also regular gas, so I can get gas anywhere for it. And it has a high roof, and I'm 6'3". So sort of the criteria for choosing this vehicle were towing capacity, regular gas, and high roof. And then I started thinking about, what am I going to build in it? And I went camping in it. The first weekend I had it, I went camping in it. Put an air mattress on the floor and that action packer, and went camping with it. And from there started researching, studied RV design, studied the electrical systems, the plumbing systems, the gas systems, everything I could get my hands on. And the internet is a wonderful resource. And the design for the truck started coming together. And I did version 1 based on what I knew, and I camped with that over a winter and realized that I had really underestimated the scenario of living out of a van. And for me, I wanted to be more comfortable. So I ripped that all out and started on version 2, which is what this is, which has heat and hot water and a shower and some other things that I realized that I really wanted to have if I was going to be out here for an extended length of time. And that started the project. And it started a whole process of a lot of research, a lot of reading. I have an engineering background. The first thing you do is go study the state of the art. So I studied what everybody else was doing and read all the regulations and downloaded all the specs and everything, and started thinking about, what do I want? How do I want to do things? I'm kind of a process-oriented guy, so I went out and sort of modeled the actions that I would be taking, fixing food, washing, sleeping, and designed the truck so that it was really an efficient way to get that done. And it took about 1.5 years to build. I bought a lot of things that I used and then sold. I bought a lot of things that I used and kept. And it's still a work in progress, but it's closing in on its finished version right now.
Mind if we take a look at it, starting from the outside, because we don't even know what brand this is.
Oh, well, this is a Nissan NV 3500 high roof. It was a new model in 2012. I got a few options, but most importantly, I got the towing option. Because
okay.
I wanted to tow a lot.
That seems like a lot, 9,500 pounds for a typical rig.
Yeah, well, this is an NV 3500. Load capacity on this is over 6,200 pounds. So that's over 3 tons.
Wow.
This is like an F350. Full 8-lug truck wheels, the whole shot.
Is it single? It's single wheel?
Titan motor in it. It's
okay.
Not 4-wheel, it's only 2-wheel drive.
But I mean, there's no dualies on the back?
Nope.
As far as
single wheel in the back. We can walk around the other side and
okay.
take a look at it.
Yeah, this is kind of like a Sprinter.
Yeah, except that the Sprinter has the more van forward. This has an actual hood, like a truck.
Oh yeah,
and,
I see.
And so the high portion is shorter than on a Sprinter. But you don't have that hump coming in and stuff like that. It's like a regular truck.
It didn't come with this stuff on coming out of the side,
Oh,
did it?
I added that. That's for shore power and shore water. It's wired for a 30 amp service and water inlet.
What would you need stuff like that for?
Oh, if I go to a campground that had services, then I'll plug in.
Okay.
And when we get to what the facilities inside are, you'll see why.
Okay.
This is a very electric-centric vehicle.
Well, take me through it if you don't mind.
Well, on the outside, if you look up, the truck came with mounting points for a roof rack, and nobody made a roof rack to do what I wanted. So that's designed and built out of 80/20 aluminum components. 80/20 is a company that makes component stuff like this that you see in factories a lot. And I've been in a lot of factories in my life, so I knew about it.
Okay. Do you have to go to them directly, or
Nope.
do you find it at Home Depot, or what's the deal?
They have distributors. And what I went in with a Visio drawing of the rack that I wanted. They converted that into their CAD.
What's Visio?
Visio's a layout program for the computer.
So you just go buy a Visio layout program?
Well, Visio's a Microsoft. It's like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Visio,
Okay.
Microsoft Publisher. It's for Visio's for like engineering drawings kind of stuff.
All right.
But it's not a CAD drawing thing. It's just 2D, 3D. Anyway, so I laid that out. Went up there. They laid it out on their CAD system, and that thing came to me in a cardboard box with a bunch of fittings.
Yeah.
Put it together, bolted it together, modular in nature, and it's got a mount for my solar panel. It's got a cutout for the ceiling fan. It's got storage on raised storage on both sides, and then in the middle and the back, it's got a place for that action packer to pick up there and strap down.
All right.
So it also carries the awning on the other side and the awning in the back, and the driving lights in the front and the work lights in the back.
How do you get up there? Oh, you have a ladder.
So if you want to climb up there,
I
and
don't know. Let me try it.
it's got straps and stuff laying around, but
Try
it's
this. I'll just do that.
you can go on up.
I don't know if I can do it with one hand.
Sure you
Let me try. Oh, so you've got some netting, and you've got your vent,
He'll be okay. He'll be coming back down.
and your. How many watts are you on your solar?
The panel is 160 watt.
Is that the only panel?
Yep.
Why did you decide to go with 160 watts?
Boy, that's a longer discussion.
Okay.
My electrical system is pretty much designed around personal preference in a lot of ways, and partly it's because.
Well, wouldn't you say this whole van is built around personal preference?
Well, okay, that's true. I can't argue that. I'm charging my MacBook while the sun is up.
Gotcha.
I use an induction cooktop as opposed to a propane cooktop, which requires electrical power. I have in my power cabinet. I have two Odyssey PC 1800 batteries. They're 213 ampere hours apiece. So the cabin part of the truck has 426 ampere hours of battery. A 2000 watt continuous 4000 peak inverter charger.
Okay.
And the front battery is 105 ampere hour Odyssey battery that I can bring in whenever I want to through just a simple switch. That's a function of the isolator that I used.
This is quite a command center you have here.
I got up this morning, and first thing I did was I have a propane fired heater
Okay.
with a thermostat. So first thing, and I don't run that at night because it's nice to be cold when you. But first thing I did this morning was turn the heater on a little bit just to break the chill. That takes electrical power for the fan. Gets the heat from the propane, but the blower is electrical. Then I made a pot of hot tea using an electric water kettle,
Okay.
which comes out of the battery. Then I have a single slide toaster
Oh wow, haven't ever seen one of those before. Is that 12 volt?
No, it's 120.
Okay.
Runs off the inverter, but it's small, so that it packs real nice into my little galley cabinet here.
Where did you get that?
I had to buy that from Japan.
Okay.
But I got it online, like almost everything else that you get.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I made hot tea using my electric water kettle. Then I made ham and eggs using my Induction cooktop. Then I had toast, a toasted bagel that I made with my toaster. All of that came out of the batteries.
This doesn't sound like roughing it at all.
I didn't say I was roughing it.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
The word
Oh.
gedigen means to survive well. Not just to get by, but to be comfortable.
So did you put that there? That's not a brand of something that you used. You put that there, that label?
That's my brand. I made those labels.
Okay, cool.
That's my brand, if you will. Gedigen Wagen. That's what this is called. And it's the survive well wagon, I guess. But
Is that German or?
It's Old English.
Old English.
Not Chaucerian Middle English, Old English, which doesn't
Okay.
sound anything like what we speak. And so the whole, and obviously refrigerator, the whole truck is built around the idea of having electricity available. And,
Okay.
And part of the reason for that is because with the solar panel, people like to think of electricity as solar electricity as free. It's not. You have to pay for the equipment. But then the variable cost is zero. As long as I sit here and the sun's out, I can do this.
What happens if the sun's not out and you're out camping and you need all that electricity?
Well,
what do you
I
do?
can run for about 3 days off the batteries, but after that I'd have to charge something. And I don't know whether you can see it, but see that thing right there?
Oh, this thing with, the
customized
camouflage?
with the customized camo cover on it.
Okay.
That's a Honda 1000 generator.
Okay. What's something like that run? If you don't mind me asking.
They were on. I try to wait till things are on sale. These were on sale at the end of the year for $7.99, so they were like 100 and some off.
So why 1,000
Because that's all I need.
Okay.
Well, this is 28 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's all I really need. The EU1000 is real quiet. These things are. If I had this running on the other side of the truck, you wouldn't even know it was there.
Okay.
And that's real nice in a campground because then you
Let's
don't
see.
disturb other people.
So do you have like USB connections and stuff?
No.
Just 110?
Yeah. Well, there's 110, and then you can take 12 volts out of it. There's 12 volt, and you can also gang them, so you can put two of them together and make 2,000 watts. But I don't need that.
What size is the gasoline tank for that?
It's a 0.6 gallon,
Okay.
and their material says that it'll run 8.6 hours on 0.6 gallons. So you can fill that up, run it an hour a day for a week, and be good.
So would an hour a day be enough to make up the difference for a week of cloudiness?
An hour a day would fix me breakfast and charge the batteries.
Okay.
I mean, it's a 1,000-watt generator.
Yeah.
You run it on full. I have a 100-amp charger. The inverter charger is a 100-amp charger. So whatever I wasn't using would go right into the batteries. If this is 1,000 watts, it's about 8 amps. Okay?
What's the equation for that, since you're an engineer? If somebody wants, because you're talking amps and watts, and
right?
for
Yeah,
people
and
that
that's
don't
more than we
know,
can go into on this.
about 12 watts per amp.
No. A watt is 1 amp at 1 volt.
Okay.
A watt hour is 1 amp at 1 volt for 1 hour.
Uh-huh.
An ampere hour is 1 amp at 1 volt for 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay. Amp hours are sort of the universal currency when you're talking about the electrical system for an RV.
Right.
How many ampere hours does your battery support? How many ampere hours do you use per day? How many ampere hours can your solar panel put back into your battery system? That panel was running about just under 9 amps for a good part of the day, and for 10 hours that would be 90 ampere hours back in, and that's way more than I use every day.
Okay.
So the panel was sized for my usage, and even though my usage is pretty heavy, I've never actually had to run the generator.
Okay.
But
So you
on
just
the other
have it
hand,
just in
we
case.
live in the Southwest here, and we
Yeah.
get a lot more sun than the rest of the world.
So you say you live in the Southwest. Do you stay in the Southwest, or do you?
Mostly.
Are you full time, or?
I live in Mountain View, California right now, and I'm doing the transition to mobile.
Mountain View.
Yeah, up in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
That's mostly where I was working. This took 1.5 years to do, and now the second part of the equation is the trailer, because my plan is to have a trailer that's going to be kind of my mobile base camp, move it from location to location, and then use this to go around and explore.
Okay.
Because this will go anywhere. I've driven through downtown San Francisco at rush hour in this.
Right.
And it'll go down, it'll go over 108, it'll go down fire roads, it'll go pretty much anywhere. It's not four-wheel drive, but...
Does it have the limited slip transfer case?
It's a two-wheel drive. The one thing that I wish this vehicle had that it doesn't is I wish it was all-wheel drive. That would make it more useful to me. But their design criteria for this was a commercial van, so...
Right.
But, so I just bought a 30-foot Keystone Cougar bunkhouse model.
Okay.
I ripped the bunkhouse out, and I'm going to put a workshop back there. It came with a sofa bed. I ripped that out. I'm going to put a workstation in there, and I'm going to take my tools with me on the road, so that given enough time and location, I could rebuild another one of these from what I have in the trailer.
So you mean mechanical, like hardware tools, saws and drills and those kinds of tools?
I'm going to have a portable table saw. I'll have a compound miter with me. I will be able to do much of the work that I did for this out of my trailer.
So if you already have this built out, why would you need tools like that to bring along?
Yeah, you see, I can't help but make things and fix things.
Okay.
And it would make me unhappy if I couldn't make things and fix things.
Some people like to fish, some people like to hunt, some people like to build.
I make things and fix things. I don't enjoy fishing. I don't, I hunt. That's okay. Mostly just pigs now because they're kind of pests. But I like making things and fixing things. And if I have my trailer with me and I have my tools with me, and my trailer will have a generator and it'll have solar panels and it'll be laid out to be, I mean, obviously it'll be a comfortable place to live.
Right.
But it'll also have that extra capability where I could make things and fix things. If I came out to something like this, and I would, and somebody's wanted to build out something or wanted to fix something or had something broken, I could help them. I've been fortunate in my life. And I've made some money, and I have some money coming in, and I'm still alive and well.
Right.
I've been shot, stabbed, blown up, broken, crushed. I have 2 metal knees, a polyester gut, artificial eardrums. But I'm still walking around.
Yeah.
And since I'm here, if I can help people do this, which is what I really like, then I will.
Well, you mentioned something about a website. So if people wanted to know more.
The website's not active. My domain is www.gadegan.org.
Okay.
It's not active yet. And I've been working on this, not the website. When I finish this, then I'll start working on the website.
Well, this video that we're making today, it may not go up for some time. So,
that's fine.
You know, do you think that sometime down the road in 2015 that website might be a reality?
Well, my plan is, I mean, right now this is really wonderful because I'm just relaxing out here. But when I'm home, I'm working on the trailer because I'm upfitting the trailer to do what I want to do. And when that gets going, and I take photos and all that, and I have all the computer modeling, that's all going to go on the website so that anybody who might want to do this can look at what I did and get the ideas that I used. And I wouldn't call them plans as much as ideas, but I will have I have a complete Visio layout of all this, a layered drawing where all the things fit and where they go. So that if somebody wanted to do exactly this, they'd have a pretty good start because the design would be done, the equipment would be there.
Well, if somebody had questions, would you take questions from people, or is that not something you really want to take on?
Sure. Although I don't want my life to be wrapped around the web.
Right.
My life is out here doing this.
Right.
I would prefer to help by being here and helping people. When you walked up, I was helping this woman make decisions about what kind of battery system she needs and what kind of solar system she needs. So I was helping her understand how to calculate her energy budget, and then how to size her battery for her energy budget, and then how to size her solar panel to the battery so that she refills what she uses. I have that capability. I can help.
Gotcha.
I would prefer to be, face-to-face helping.
Everybody's got their thing, their tolerances for things, and I mean, I think that what you're doing is great. So is there anything else you wanted to add? We'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Oh, well, there's whole lots more about the van you could.
Okay, we could do any as much as you want.
Well, let's go around the back.
Okay.
And 'cause that's a pretty good look see. So the van was sort of designed with I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, but there's an open walkway and sort of a large area in the front. It doesn't feel real constrained, even though there's stuff built on both sides and everything like that.
I would agree.
And but there's a lot of stuff in there. And
Let me get these lights. This is very cool. So this is a sub ceiling then.
Well, the ceiling has Dynamat on the metal, Dynaliner on the Dynamat, and then spun fiberglass insulation with a vapor barrier, and then this is an FRP sheet. That's a single 4x8 FRP sheet with all of those holes drilled exactly where they need to be to mount them to the weld nuts that were already in the steel beams.
Right.
That took me 2 tries.
Well, that's. I think 2 tries is pretty good.
But the back is a good example. The back was built so that I carry leveling blocks. They're the first thing out and the last thing in. So there's storage for them right back here where I can get to them. It feels fairly open because
it does.
I left it. I could have built this out another 6 inches, but it would have made it feel really claustrophobic.
Right.
So by leaving that in there, I can now sit in bed and lean back here and read. And also when you walk down, it doesn't feel like you're walking down the,
right,
a tunnel kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there's a Majestic van that has that thing going on with cabinets. It's like a road trek, but it's a little less expensive. And they kind of had that little narrow hallway thing going.
Yeah, I actually prototyped this up with cardboard.